Hello and welcome to another tutorial, and in today's tutorial we'll continue building our 3D platformer game. So before getting started to this tutorial, I want you to download a few more assets. Oh yeah, because we also need a character to stand on something and run and walk to do experimental stuff on tiles in shop. So go to gameart2d.com as I told you. Sorry, not this. Yeah, this. And go to free tile sets and freebies and choose any one of these. I like this one for my ninja. If you have seen my previous tutorial, I've chosen the ninja sprites and animations for my tutorial series. You can go ahead and pick any one of these as you wish, but I like this one, so go ahead and click on this or any one of that. Click on free download and it will download your files. So once you're done with that, go to Unity and open your project. I recently upgraded my Unity to 2018 B2 version, so it's kind of cool. So go ahead and click on Killer Ninja or whatever your project name is you're working on. Follow my tutorial, yes, continue. Okay, it's going. It will take some time and it'll be perfect. Let me see my download. 51. Okay, no problem. Good. So it's compiling scripts. Okay, it will take a few times, so let's wait. Oh yeah, there we go. Has opened up Unity and still compiling. Okay, come on. Complete the bar. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, there. So the tiles what I have downloaded, I've created this platform. Don't worry, I'll explain you how to create these platforms. Means how to import these platforms to the scene. So let me show you that. Go to PNG or wherever you have imported your tiles. In the assets folder, I've created a few of the folders called animation. These animation are from that video from where I've told you how to create an animation for your character in 2D. So these are those. I've just created a folder and I've put those. Or I've kept these all animations into that. So yeah. And I've created a separate folder for my scripts, animations, and tiles. Over here, tiles. So I've got these tiles, and you just need to do nothing, drag and drop. Now, if you look onto this, you have sprite render, but no other component. Now, our robot needs to be at the surface, right? If you stand on the surface, you feel that you have collided with something, some kind of solid object, and the gravity pulls you down. So we need the same effect to work on our character. So we're going to add some physics component, for example, box collider 2D. So go to add component, type box collider. Now this box collider is for the 3D projects and this is for 2D projects. So as the name suggests, box collider 2D. So go ahead and click on that. It will add this component to this tile. And that's it. Now our actor will able to judge that he has collided with something and it will stop right over there and he will stand. I've done the same thing with all other tiles as you can see. Now as over here in this condition, the box will get to know that he has collided with something, but our ninja also needs to know that he has collided with something. So we are going to do the same thing. Of course, add a box collider 2D, and now if you play the game, you see he's flying in the sky, but he's not landing on the ground. Why is it so? Actually, it's a really easy fix, and it's really necessary component of any 2D game. Go to add component, and I'm going to say rigid body 2D. This rigid body is for the 3D part. If you're doing job with the 3D project, so it's rigid body is for them. If it's 2D, go for rigid body 2D. Now, rigid body 2D means that the body will have these materials with the gravity scale. As I told you, that ground have some gravity, earth have gravity, that's why we are kind of sticking onto the ground, and whenever we jump we come back to the ground. Newton's law. Yeah, enough physics, let's straight on game. So yeah, the gravity scale is set to 1, means it will force it means the gravity is applied to the player, and the gravity will, as the gravity is equal to 1, it will fall down in the sense it will land onto that green surface, okay, on the tile. So yeah, that's it. So let's play this and see what do we have. See, our player lands onto the land. So yeah, we just don't want our character to land, we also need a character to move right and left, then we need him to jump. So for that we need to create a script. So go to your script folder if you haven't created your one, so create one. Just like this, right click on the asset folder, create folder. Okay, so go to scripts folder, the same procedure, right click, create C# file. Name this whatever you want. I'm gonna name it player or something like that. So yeah, as you can see, now I'm going to open this in Visual Studio. If you have already installed in your computer, if you have already installed in your computer, it's great. If you haven't, go ahead and install it. There are plenty of results on the internet that how can you install Visual Studio, so it won't be covered up in this video. Actually, I've told you that how can you install that in my first part of this 2D platformer tutorial. So go ahead and check that. So enough talk. Let's write some script. So double click on this Visual Studio 2017, as I have the version of 2017. If you have something else, go ahead with that. Okay. So it's loading up. So here we are. Not now, baby. So void start is actually used for initializing your code. Any kind of physics, if you want to mess up with your physics or rigid body or animator, do that in void start. Each and every if conditions are used in void update. We manipulate our if conditions of key pressed or button key down or mouse pressed. We all manipulate those functions into void update. So let's delete this and let's create a public float. Public float speed, not x. Yeah, public float x is nothing but this. If you see, we have a position x. So we want a character to move in the x-axis direction while while running. So that's what it means. You want the speed at the x direction, as you can name this, and you can name it at any way. For example, Raftar. It's a funny name, just for example, but I'm gonna name it as speed. It won't show you an error. Speed x. This we will set our speed value like 10 or 20. And the next variable what we want is a boolean. So bool facing right. Right. Okay. The bool facing right means our character is facing towards right side. Okay? And if you observe that if the scale x, if I put a minus sign in front of 1, it will flip. So that's what we want in a character. When we walk to the right, it will face to the right. If we try to walk or run the left side, it will flip to the left side. So I'll get to that part later. So first we'll concentrate on the just movements. Okay, so we are going to create another float called speed. This speed will initialize with this one, so that whatever value is over here, it could work with our character. So let me give some space. Over here I will type now I'm sorry, I forgot to add something else. We also need an animator, and I'm going to call this as animator. Wait, yeah, animator. So I'm gonna call this anim, or any whatever you want, whatever name you want to give it. You can give it to that thing, animator. Upon you, and I'm going to add another variable called rigid body 2D. So I'm using a 2D component, and I'm going to name it as RB. So yeah, the animator over here is this part. If we go to our animator tab, this is our animator, where we manipulate our animation using states or something like that. Nothing else. Not to get terminated at all. So yeah, over here, let me close this. Don't save. Okay, so let's get back to our script. That's animator, and I'm going to call that animator variable anim. And rigid body is the same as is actually equal to this rigid body, which is our character. So let's continue with our function. So anim equals to get component equals to component animator okay, animator, yeah, and yeah, in the statement. Why is it showing an error? Oh yeah, it's not component, it's component. So what does this line mean? It means anim variable is going to take the value or the situation of the animations from the animator. Means this variable anim is going to take the changes or manipulation of animations from the animator tab. Okay? In short, we are going to manipulate our animations using this variable. And RB will, now we are going to initialize this part, the rigid body RB integer. So RB equals to get component rigid body 2D body 2D. What the problem is? No problem. I'm just gonna copy this and paste over here. And as it goes for same, it goes same for this also. Okay. So RB variable is going to take a component from rigid body, which is our character in short. Reading these two lines is just like in English, that anim takes the component from animator tab, as we're going to manipulate the functions of animation and the animator, so we use this. And RB takes the component from rigid body, which is our character, in which our character is, in which the rigid body 2D is applied. So let's take this a bit, yeah, perfect, here. Now we also need our facing right equals true, as our in the game right now our character is facing towards right. So let's do that. Facing right equals to true. As it's a boolean value, so we are considering as true or false, not any value. So as it's true, as it says, facing right equals true, means my character is facing right in the game tab also. See? Let me just this one. 10 or something like that. Free aspect, okay. No problem. Yeah. As you can see, it's facing towards right. This right arrow, this red arrow, is indicating that my character is towards right. So, script. Now we are going to do some work with the if conditions. So let's get started. First, we need a function where our animation is gonna work for our movement. So let's do that first. Player. Let me say that player movement. Okay, let's say that player movement. Player movement. Movement. Okay. So it's showing an error. This is why, because I haven't defined this player movement. So let's go ahead and define that. Void player movement. Copy, paste, and I'm going to write a float and a player speed. Sorry, player speed. Curly braces. Perfect. Still showing an error. What's the problem? Oh yeah, we didn't specify anything. So let's do that. Speed. Yeah. Our player movement is actually a speed. So we have defined a function. I'll get onto this a bit later because we need to manipulate with our animation. First, we need a character to move left and right and flip a bit. So let's create a function called, not function, of statement of if statement. So if input dot key down, but in parentheses write key code. I want to say it as right arrow, right arrow, and alt. Should be working. Yeah. Now it's showing an error at the last of parentheses. Of course, we need a curly braces over here because it's a statement. An if statement only initialized when you have a block of of functions. Okay, so parentheses is for to consider a block of functions. So let's write something over here, and I want my speed equals to minus speed. Cool. So this says that the speed will be equals to minus speed, means it will go towards right side. Sorry, it will go to the left side. I have mistaken, sorry. Left arrow key. Or you can write anything, A or B, whatever. I've done the left. So speed equals to minus speed means it will go to the minus direction. If you want to see that, show that. If, as you can see, this is the position, but take it to the right, it shows a positive value. If I take it to the left, it goes for a negative value. Same thing defines over here. Speed equals to minus speed. But if we just do that, our player is just going to move at the left side. We also want our player to move at the right side. So let's do that. Yeah. If input dot get key down and key code dot right arrow. What am I doing? What am I writing? I don't know. Okay, I do know. And I want speed equals to at the positive side, and it will be speed x because it's at the x-axis. Speed equals to speed. So we have it over here. Players can move. When the left arrow is pressed, our player is going to move at the negative direction, which is left. And if I press right arrow, it's going to move at the direction of right, which is a positive value. So just let's do the work with player movement. Okay, so I'm going to say it's too much space in here. I'll be velocity. Sorry, velocity equals to new vector. So vector 2 or sorry 3 speed RB dot velocity dot y equals to 0 is 0. So this part is going to say our character to move in the left side of the right side or the left side. So let's save this and check does this work or not. Save this, go back to Unity, and as you can see it's loading over here. When it stops, means your code is compiled and it's good to go. Go to your asset, go to your project, script, select your character, drag and drop your script over here. As you can see, we have a section called speed x, as it's a public variable, so it shows that. Let me just write a speed, let's say 6, and let's play this. check is that working or not. So yes, it's working. Voila. See? Whenever, hey, why did that flip? Okay, it's a really easy fix. In your rigid body 2D, if you select your character and you go to rigid body 2D, you'll see there's a option called constraints. Go ahead and click on the right arrow, this drop down arrow, and you'll see some options: freeze rotation, freeze position. Freeze position for X, don't mess with the X and Y values, because it helps you to jump and move right and left. You can do something with the rotation. I'm going to deal with that. So check on freeze rotation at Z-axis so it won't fall. So let's play that again. So fingers crossed. And yes, it's not flipping, but you can see it stopped. Why did it stop? Let me actually, it's whenever you design a platform, always check, is it leveled or not. If it's not, it will be harder for your character to move on. It's just like that. These are easy fix, but hard to remember and to figure it out. So not hard to fix, but not easy to find out what could be the possible fix. Let's play that again. Now let's play. Okay, it's not stopping when I remove my hand from right or left arrow key. Why is it so? And it's also not flipping. I don't want that. Go to the unit, your script. But we have written a function called if, and the key left arrow key is down, our speed equals to minus speed x. There's no logic, no sense where it will go back to 0. Because there's only a function called down, where is a function of up arrow key. So we need to add that thing. So let's add that over here. This will do for left. So write if input dot get key up key code dot left arrow key. When the left arrow key is up, I want my character to stop. So speed equals to 0. Simple as that. So we'll do the same for right arrow key function. Just try that. Copy, paste. Yeah. So now let's check that in Unity. How does that perform? Okay, it's stopping, and okay, it's working. But still, I still have a doubt. It's really working. Check that and that. Let's make it level. That and this one. Let's make it leveled. Now let's check that here. Let's make it leveled. Now let's play this. Yes, it's working. Whenever I leave my left arrow key, it stops. Whenever I leave my right arrow key, it stops at the right direction. So perfect, but it's not flipping to the left or right direction. Why is it so? Because we haven't wrote any function which will flip the character to left or right. So to do that, we'll write another statement over here. If speed is greater than 0 and facing right, he is facing right, or sorry, not facing right, facing right, or speed is less than 0 and he is facing right. So I want my character to flip. So let's define a flip function over here. Let's write public void, or let's just write void. And yeah, whenever you're writing any void function, never write it inside of void update or void start. It will always show you an error and you'll go crazy about that. So always write your void functions out of update and start between the braces of public class. Okay, so public void, let's call this flip. Flip. And as I showed you, that if you write a minus sign in front of 1, sorry, minus sign in front of 1, it will flip. So we need the same thing, transform the local scale equals to local minus 1. So let's write that into code. So facing right equals to not facing right. So then convert vector 3 scale. I told you, there we have scale, in which we did the manipulation of minus and pluses. Scale, vector scale equals to transform dot local scale. Good. Local scale, it shows an error. Always double check your spellings while writing your script. And scale, I want my scale dot in the x-axis, I want him to multiply by minus 1. And that, and transform dot local scale equals to scale. So when my character is facing right and equals to not facing right, vector scale, then the vector scale equals to transform dot local scale will convert the scale dot x-axis. We show that in this over here. Vector scale equals to transform dot local scale dot x-axis. Of course, the scale at the x-axis will be multiplied by minus 1 to flip, and transform dot local scale equals to scale, whatever value is over here will be stored over here. So let's save that and let's see our results. A minute. Perfect. So it's flipping. Yes, good. As I press my left arrow key, it flips to the left side. Whenever I click on the right arrow key, it flips to the another side, means to the right. So, but it does not have any animations. It does not look like he's running. He's just standing like a 3D image. You want him to come into the real life, eh? So, as in the previous tutorial, I've shown you that how can you create this animator controller and this animation. So go ahead and check that tutorial in my YouTube channel if you want to check. I'll put a link to that tutorial in my description. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. This is your Animator tab. If you don't have this, go to the window and Animation, click on Animator. We'll open up this tab. Now we have any state, entry, and exit. So we won't do anything with exit or any state. Maybe we'll do something with any state, but we don't have to do anything with the exit state. So put it aside. The animation tab, let's go to your project folder or the animations where it was opened. Seems to be, yeah. So yeah. Okay. Let's get over here. Yeah. So drag and drop your run animation over here and your idle animation over here. So make it big. And the run animation is default animation in this. Whichever animation state is turned into orange means it's a default animation. So go ahead and right click on idle, set as default state. Now it's turned to orange. Now let's make a transition from idle to run to idle. But if you see that we don't have any logic which will say our character to run these animation between these two arrows. See, this is empty. So we want to create a parameter. Click on this plus and drop down arrow, float, int, bool, and trigger. I'll go ahead and click on integer, name this as state or whatever. I'm going to call this player. That's it. And whenever I want my player to run, state integer, the player integer will be equal to 1. Whenever I want to go back to idle animation, I want to go back to idle position, I want my player state to go to 0, equals to 0. So let's initialize these in our script. Here we have our Visual Studio, and let's write these things. First, we'll have to deal with player movement function because it's the only one through which he is moving. Over here, let's write a if condition. If wait, before setting up these animations, let's make a player jump. So over here, bool facing right, we'll make another variable called jumping. Okay, so we have that jumping. Now we need some logic which will initialize this bool statement to true or false. So let's add that. I think I forgot my um script a bit. That how did I wrote that thing? Mm, okay, now the issue. Let's do that. We have something. RB dot velocity or something like that. I don't remember at all. Mm, what was it? Okay, no issue. I have written a backup code for my practicing. Let's check that over here or somewhere. I don't know. What was it? So yeah, both fighting right. Muscles. What do we have here? Is yeah. I'm just gonna copy this part of the code. But don't remember that. How did I do that? I don't know how did I forgot, but I'm not planning this to remember or something. Just did. I'll just explain my code. Don't worry, I'll just explain it. So jump speed y. Over here. Copy. It's not happening. Let's write the full thing. Public float. Jump speed y. Jump speed y. Oh, y, yeah, y. Yeah, cool. Okay, so this part of the code says now jumping is also a bool function. And jump speed y is kind of speed x. Okay, jump speed y is the speed at the x-axis. Let me just explain you in detail. Here, if you click on this character, green arrow, see the y-axis is changing to minus or plus. That is our y-axis, so we are just initiating that over here, jump speed y. And in the if statement over here, we want jumping equals true when we press up arrow key. Jumping will be true. RB add force means it will add some force towards the ground, then it will jump. Means whenever you in the real world when you try to jump, you add some force to the ground, then you are in the air. So that's the same force over here. New vector 2 RB dot velocity x equals to jump at the y-axis. So yeah, that's it. Let's delete this one. We haven't set animation for that. And over here, for animation of running, before jumping onto this part, let's test this. Does that really work or not? Save that. Come back over here and click on. Sorry, it's not jumping. Why so? Because we have not assigned any speed in the jump axis. So let's make it. Let's say 500. Oh no, 300. Oh, let's make it 400. 420. 420. Good. And just that. Now, yeah, when I press up arrow key, it jumps. But there are no animation. We need to set that. So, for our project, over here, we need statement if player speed, sorry, I'm sorry, player speed is greater than 0 and he is not jumping, or and in the or statement, or player speed is less than 0, and he's also not jumping, and set anim dot set integer, which is ninja, say player, maybe player equals to, let's see the value, what does the value says, what's the value is, sorry, and tool is equal to 1, so let's write that, is equal to 1 with comma back. And another if statement, if the player speed is equal to 0 and not jumping with the double braces, I want my integer to go to 0. So set integer, player state, sorry, player, what have I done? Wait a minute, player to 0. So yeah, when the speed of the player is greater than 0 and is not jumping, or my player speed is less than 0 and is not jumping, then it will set the integer to 1. And if my player speed is equal to 0 and is not jumping, it will go to 0. Means if the player is not moving, it will stop the animation. So let's save that and let's see our results. It's loading. Let's see. Yes, it's working. It was. Okay, what happened there? Okay, let me do that again. What's the problem? Over here. We have a problem, dude. Equals 0. So, hazard time is maybe. Okay, let's do that again. Yeah, it's working. Okay, perfect. And stopping. Whenever I release my keys, it's playing the animation. Perfect. So let's create a jump animation. But creating a jump animation is kind of a different way. I found a way to do that, so go to your animation tab, create a new clip, we'll call this as jump, and let's do that over here. No, over here, project folder, or now I need to do that over here. PNG, we want to jump animation, where are you? Jump animation, yeah, there you are. Now, I wanna select all of these here, maybe over here. No, I'm not going to do it that way. Okay, so let's delete this. Go to our animator, create a new blend tree. I'm gonna name this as jump. Cool. Double click that. We have some motion fields. We're gonna add some motion fields. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we are going to grab those all animations and these motion fields. So grab one by one. First animation. What happened, dude? Oh yeah, it is because we haven't created an animation clip. So let's create that. Drag and drop your animation. Perfect. Let's create another. I'm gonna call this jump 1. Clip jump 2. New clip jump 3. Create a new clip jump 4. We're gonna do this till 10 or how many soever it has. Jump 4 and 5. Jump 6. Jump 7. Sorry. Jump 8. Jump 8. And jump 9. The last one. Jump 9. Perfect. Now in a project window, grab a project window over here. Let's be over here. So select these. Yeah, we have all the animation. Go to animate tab, base layer. See, you have everything over here. I'll delete these all. Go to your blend tree. Wait, come on, I'm deleting my blend tree. Yeah, there you are. Where's my jump? Yeah, there you are. Delete those. Delete those. Whenever you delete something by mistake, just um, press Ctrl plus Z key, it will be back in the position. So now let's grab and drag and drop our animations. Jump 0, jump 1, jump 2, jump 3, jump 4, jump 5, jump 6, jump 7, jump 8, jump 9, and done. Yeah. Let's set that to 10, and that to -5. Perfect. Maybe. Good. So, right. 10 should be good. What happened to you, my friend? Okay, perfect. Go to base layer, make a transition from any state, sorry, state, and jump to idle. So I want my player to player state to go to 3 or 2. Let's make 2. Go to 2 from any state and to 0. Or let's make it 1 or 3. Make this as 3. make this as 2. Let's go back to our script. Wait, there is an error. So what is that error? Check that out. What does it say? Well, use parameter blend, which does not exist, so we don't need any of that. Okay, let's go to our script. Let's add that animation thing into our script. Let's say this, and then set integer my player state equal to 3, as we have done that in our animator. So let's check that and see what our results. It's compiling. Let's see if I press something. It's not showing the animation. So why is it so? We haven't done our job perfectly, or there's something wrong. Let's make it 0. Let's check. Let's check now. Okay, this trick does not work. So I have another trick to make it work function. Let's do this. Let's go to animation, new clip, jumping. Perfect. And over here in jumping, I want my PNG folder. Track, jump, yeah. From here to here. Drag and drop all of these over here and interval of 15 seconds. Enter. Let's do that. Yeah, it's doing that animation. Cool. So I want my animator. Animator. And animations, jumping from any state, transition, go to over here, make the same state to goes to, so yeah, it's 3 and equals to 0 or 2, 3 now. And let's now run this. Maybe it should work. Okay, it works. So, but it's still not stopping the animation while it's up, because our player detects that there's a ground, but ground did not, and ground also detects there's a player, but there is no logic in the code which will say a player to stop our animations. So let's do that. Select all of these tile. You see a tag function over here. Click on that drop down arrow. Go ahead and click on add tag. Plus, we'll name this as ground. Ground, and save. Now let's go to inspector, tile, tag, character as ground. Now, our editor knows that it's a ground. Our player also knows that this is the ground, as it has a tag of ground. Now, I'm going to introduce two trigger functions. So let's do that. So void trigger enter PD. Okay, already typed all those stuff. Good, perfect. Saves a lot of time. So we're going to use if statement, if collision dot game object tag is equal to ground. I want my animator to go to 0. So jumping will be false. Jumping will be false. False. And anim.set integer will be equal to 0. Sorry, or 2. 2. State 2. Where to 0. So on enter trigger enter 2D means whenever our object collides to any kind of collider, and if this collider collision, a game object collides with another game object with the tag equals to ground, the jumping will be equals to false, the boolean jumping will set to false, and animator's integer will go back to 0, means the state of the player will go back to 0 and will stop our animation. Let's go ahead and save that. Save that. And let's go to Unity, compiling our script. Let's hit the play button and see does it work or not. Okay, why didn't work? So it's not working. Oh yeah, I know why it's not working. Because in Animator, we have set this to 2. I want this 0. Or you can do that to 2, just make some changes in the code. It will work fine. So, I'm not. Why is it so? Right? Okay, I don't know why it's not working. Should. Okay. I maybe should not. Let's delete this. Maybe I think it will work. Yeah, it will work. Let's do this again. It's not working. Why is it so? Okay. No need to be panic. Player ground. Okay, we did some mistake in the ground. Step tag. Ground still not detecting a collision. Was so, and no. Ground. Okay. Don't have any errors. Still it's to ground. So I don't know what's happening. It should work fine. But it's not working fine. Okay, let's check what's the problem is. Why don't we just do that 2 thing? 2, then set animator to. Hey, sorry, it was greater than. Should be equals to. Yeah, perfect. Not an issue. Yeah, great. And 3 equals to 0. Perfect. We have everything outgoing. Cool. Let's check that again. Okay, man, what? It's still not working. Why is it so? So, why is it so? Why is it so? Let's make this 2. I don't know. Let's check our backup script if we have typed something different. No. Yeah. False. Okay. I know. So let's copy this. Here to make it as 0. Cool. Should work. Maybe or not. I don't know. It may work. Let's try that again. And okay, we have some bug fixes. So I'll cover that in the next tutorial. So we have just a problem that it's not landing properly. It's not going back to idle. I'll try to do that. Okay, wait. Not to be panicked. Do that and do the jumping. Make it from idle to that thing. So make transition, not this. Back to here. Whenever I want it to go to 3, I want it to go to 0. Yeah, perfect. Now let's check that works. Okay. The last time the animation was incomplete, now it's completing it. It's not stopping. Come on, man. Stop your animation stuff. What is the reason? Okay, I don't know what the reason is. I'll find out in my later video. Okay, so we'll fix that in a later video. It's tool time. Okay. Not an issue, not an issue. What if we delete this? Now let's see. Okay. It don't have any intervals. It's stopping, but it's not to any state. Let's make it 2. Code, let's make it 2. 2. Maybe it's confusing between 2 zeros. Maybe that work. Come on, man. Okay, don't. It does not work. So, okay, not to be this happy. I'll fix that in my next tutorial. Till the time, try to create your own script, and if you have any problem with the jumping thing, go ahead and delete Visual Script if you want to just play with the right and left feature. I'll do something with that in my next tutorial. Till time, goodbye. Please subscribe, like, share, and yes, subscribe. And please comment me below if you have any confusion, any question related to codes. I'll post each and every link to my description box so that it will be easier for you to download the assets and everything what you need to build this game. So if you have any confusion, comment me below, subscribe, like, and share. Goodbye. See you next time. Happy programming, happy flying, happy developing.